Hello, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm excited to be here to share some ideas on how you can incorporate phonological awareness activities to help even your most struggling readers without adding much time or prep to your already busy schedule. I'm also excited to share with you my new resource for phonological awareness. Now, I'm Brenda, and I taught in the classroom for 17 years, mostly kindergarten and first grade, and I love helping teachers now by sharing my ideas and experiences and by creating resources that help save you time and also make teaching fun, because I think school should be fun for teachers too, not just students. So before we start, let me know who's here. In the comments, write down where you're from, what grade you teach, and if you have any questions at all throughout the presentation, make sure that you comment. So let's get started. First, okay, phonological and phonemic. I'm sure you've heard those terms. Maybe you've heard them interchangeably, but they are two different things. So first I want to just explain what the difference is, and then I'm going to share some ideas with you. Phonological awareness is the awareness that our language is made up of words and sounds and the ability to hear those sounds and manipulate them. So there are 4 levels, starting with word awareness, and then that words are made up of parts called syllables. Even smaller than syllables are onset and rhyme, so that's the beginning sounds and the rest of the word. And then the smallest unit of sound, which is also called the phoneme, that's when we get into phonemic awareness. So a quick way to remember is just that phonemic is a shorter word, so it deals with individual sounds, and phonological awareness includes phonemic awareness, but it also includes bigger parts of words, syllables and onset and rhyme. Now, why is it important? Phonemic awareness is one of the best predictors of reading success. So when your students have strong phonological awareness skills, it's much easier to learn how to read and write. If you have struggling readers and it seems like they're not making progress no matter how much you work with them, and you spend with intervention, it seems like they're not making significant progress over time, then the cause could be a lack of phonological awareness. And so you might want to assess those skills to see if there's an area that you can target to help improve them. All right, so I often get asked the question, get back on here. I often get asked if there is a scope and sequence or a correct order to teach these skills. And there is a hierarchy of difficulty of activities. And I want to go through some activities for phonological awareness. And there are 3 levels that I'm going to show you. But it doesn't mean that students have to master one level before they go to the next group of activities. In fact, you can and should use activities from multiple levels, because if you wait for students to master one skill before going on to the next, it's going to take them a really long time. So you can mix up the skills. So in the first tier, I have rhyming, alliteration, and word awareness. We also have isolation, so being able to isolate one phoneme or one sound in a word, blend sounds together or blend syllables together to make the word, and segmenting, so breaking apart the sounds in the word. And then the most difficult tier of phonological awareness includes phoneme manipulation, which includes phoneme addition or adding a sound to a word, phoneme deletion, taking away a sound, and phoneme substitution, so changing a sound in a word. And these are advanced phonological awareness activities. All right, let's move on. The next question I get is how to incorporate phonological awareness activities. So like I said, the great thing about phonological awareness is that it's an auditory activity, so you don't need a lot of time, you don't need a lot of materials to do it. Here are some examples of times that you can incorporate it in just a few minutes throughout the day. During your morning message. So when I did my morning message with my students, I might start by clapping the syllables in a word, and they would call out the whole word by blending it. So I might say, dear children, and they would call out children. And you can do activities with rhyming or onset and rhyme throughout your morning message. Of course, when you're reading books, especially rhyming books, you can leave out the second rhyming word and have students call it out. At the beginning of your phonics block, like I said, sometimes your curriculum might be missing a strong component of phonological awareness, and so you might have to supplement. So just starting a few minutes at the beginning of your phonics block with some exercises is a great time to do these activities. During transitions, so whenever we lined up, I would say something like, if you sit at the g, e, n table, you can line up. If you are wearing a b, u shirt, you can go get a drink. So during transitions, you can practice phonological awareness activities too. Really, any extra minutes that you have throughout the day, you can incorporate some activities. And of course, during your small group reading instruction is a great time to differentiate the skills that each of your students need. All right, so I'm going to share some games and activities that I used in the classroom that you can also use in your classroom to practice. So first is I Spy. This is pretty simple. You can play I Spy with your students, pick an object in your classroom, and then you can say, for example, I spy the whiteboard. And they can raise their hand and tell you what the word is. You can also do it with onset and rhyme. I spy the whiteboard. Or you can segment into sounds. You can also play Guess Who. Now, you know that kids love to play with their names, and I love to see their smile when I call their name or incorporate their names in a game. And Guess Who is just that. So you're going to say, okay, guess who I see? I'm looking at my name is a little bit long for phoneme segmentation, but I'm looking at Brenda. Clapping syllables is a big activity that we do a lot in the beginning of kindergarten. Who has, now during snack time, we play Who Has, and then I would say, who has a snack that rhymes with schmetzels? And they'll call out what the word is, and then it's their turn. So the good thing about games is you can turn it around and have them take a turn, and they love to ask who has something that rhymes with moose, juice. So it's a lot of fun. You can also play Simon Says. So you can do Simon Says with blending. Simon Says touch your h-e-d, head. Simon Says touch your n-e-k, for example. Hop to It is another one. This one is for segmentation. So you can show a picture of an object on the board, let's say. And in my class, we had a rug that had squares. I don't know if you have one in your classroom, but if you don't, you can also just put something on the, like stickers or circles on your floor. And for example, if it shows a picture of a cup, they can hop on a square or hop on a sticker for each sound. And they love doing that. All right, so let's see. I see Julie, love the idea of doing this more during transitions. Yes, that is such a great time to do these quick phonological awareness activities. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it has a big impact. All right, so now I want to share with you, let me get this. Okay, so my new phonological awareness bundle, it has a few components in it, and I'm going to show you what they look like in a minute. But you have the teacher guide, which gives you a little bit more information about phonemic and phonological awareness. I also made assessments so that you can know where your students need to start and how they progress throughout the year. I included warm-ups, and I'll show you what those are in a moment. Practice pages for your students to work on independently or with you in a small group. Skill cards for more practice, including visuals. And I love this part because I don't know about you, but I love to include digital slides even before virtual learning, which I'm sure was really difficult. But I always use PowerPoints or Google Slides presentations in my classroom because it always, first of all, kept me on track with what I wanted to cover. And it was interactive. The kids can come up and see everything big on a screen, and they can interact with it. So we know that when they're engaged, they're going to learn better. So I did include a digital component of I included the skill cards and the practice pages in Google Slides, so you can put them on your whiteboard, and you can do them, incorporate them as in your morning message if you want to use a few slides, and I'll show you what that looks like too. All right, let me go over to, hopefully, oh good. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a quick peek at the binder. Now, Rebecca's asking, are the skill cards similar to the guided reading skill cards? Yes, I do have guided reading warm-ups bundle that I'm going to show you tomorrow. And the skill cards are similar, but with phonological awareness activities. So I will show you them in just a minute. Let's take a look at the binder. I know it's a little pixelated. Let me see if I can refresh this, see if that helps. That didn't really help much. Okay, so I have 4 assessments, 2 for kindergarten and 2 for first grade. How to use the assessment sheets, and then the assessments are really easy to conduct because I have exactly the directions that you can say to the students, and then a sample that you can do with them so they understand the activity, and then your words or sentences to use. Now, if you're not sure, when I get to the warm-ups, I'll tell you about that. So I also have a class assessments at a glance page, so you can fill this in and easily see how you can group your students and how you can target the skills that they need. And then, of course, a little sample completed class data and an intervention plan for a sample student. Okay, the next component are the warm-ups. And if you know about my guided reading warm-ups, these are 1-page warm-ups for the students in my guided reading bundle, but these are warm-up pages for you to have. So the students do not need to have this page. This is for you to do auditorily with your students, and each page has 3 activities. It has the teacher directions at the top, which is great. So if you have a substitute teacher, or if you have any parent volunteers or anybody working with your students, you can have them read the top, and then they can do the activities with your students. Now, you wouldn't do all of the activities on a page in one sitting. So you would break this up. I included lots of words and samples so that you can use it over several sessions. And if you are not sure, if you want a little bit more information on any of the activities on this page, I also created a teacher guide with a little bit more information for each activity. Plus, I incorporated a little intervention tip. So if any of your students are struggling with one of these activities, you can check your teacher guide for a little intervention tip. Now, the skills get harder as they progress in level. And I only have these leveled to use as a guide for skill progression. But as you can see, I have 3 different activities on each page. So you're going to incorporate blending, segmenting, all of the skills that they need. And of course, you're going to have students that work across multiple levels too. When we get to levels H, I, and J, we have some phoneme manipulation. And like I said earlier, that's the more advanced phonological awareness skills. The next component are the practice pages. So these are made for your students to use either independently, or you can do them whole group or in a small group setting. And I have at least 2 or 3 pages for each skill. I'll just show you a few of them. Here, students say 2 words, say the 2 words that rhyme, and they draw 1 more word that rhymes. So that's a little bit harder because they have to produce a rhyme. And here they're saying the 3 words and finding the 2 that rhyme. I'm looking if there's any questions. Let me just check over here. Okay, looks like I don't have any questions right now, so I'll keep going. Here's some for isolation. Now, when you see letters, that's incorporating phonics. So there's phonics incorporates letter representations for the sounds, but you can and should introduce phonics early so that students can make that relationship, that connection between the sounds and the letters early on. And I can see it's getting more and more pixelated as I go. All right, so we have segmenting pages, and then we have the more advanced phonological awareness skills. And of course, I include answer keys. These are helpful if you want to check these quickly, or if you want to put them at a center so students can self-correct. All right, I see, oh, Angel, I just bought and have already put this and your other materials together. I'm so excited to use your wonderful products. Thank you so much. That's what makes my heart happy. I do this to help you and your students, and it makes me so happy to hear that my resources are helpful for you. Okay, and then I want to show you my digital to get them on the screen. Okay, so just to give you a peek at what the digital component looks like, I have the skill cards and the practice pages in Google Slides for you. So if you look over here, most of the cards have movable pieces so that the students can interact with the cards. So here, this is a rhyming one. Bug and rug, they would put the thumbs up to show that they do rhyme. And I forgot to show you the skill cards, but I will get to that in just a second. If I forget, just remind me. I'm known for being forgetful, and in fact, I love to tell this story. One of my students actually gave me a Dory plush doll years ago, because from Finding Nemo, if you don't know the movie, Dory is very forgetful. And I forget everything. So she gave me this plushie that I still have because she said it reminded her of me. That's so sweet. Okay, so back to this. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to show you a few of them. We have rhyming, and then here the students have one word and they have to find the picture that rhymes with it as well. We'll go down to alliteration or matching beginning sounds. So here I have red ovals, and they're going to drag them over the pictures that have the same beginning sound as the apple in the picture. I have it for each letter in the alphabet, as well as ending sounds and medial sounds, which is a little bit tougher. Now let's move down so I can show you a few more. And if you haven't noticed, these have a little tag on the top left corner, which is great for organization. So when you have it in your task boxes, you can easily find what you need. And if a card goes rogue, you can find which box to put it back in. Okay, so I have a lot of alliteration cards. So I wanted to make sure I had one for each sound. This is isolating the beginning sound, then I have isolating the ending sound and the middle sound. There are over 200 cards to use. And like I said, these are great to use a whole group. Just display it on your whiteboard and do a few each morning. These are for counting syllables, so skates. And I included 1, 2, 3, and 4 syllable words. So here, I think I already moved this one, pineapple. And let's see, go a little bit further down. It's easier to show you the cards on the digital slides. Okay, these are going to drag the counters to segment the picture. So web would be w, e, b. If you've ever used Elkonin boxes, you know how these work. And then I love the phoneme manipulation cards. So these are a lot of fun. So obviously, B plus N would be bean. The physical cards also are self-checking. So when I show you them, you're going to see that you can copy them two-sided to have the answers on the back. So they're great to use during centers as well. And let's see, we have S plus nap is snap. And then these are phoneme deletion. So they would take the picture name and then they would press each dot and delete the last sound. So this is the beginning deletion and phoneme substitution. So here they would press each dot to sound out the picture. So k, p, cup. And then they would do the same for the other picture, k, t. And notice which phoneme changed. So here they would take the black oval and they would drag it to show that the last sound in the word changed. Okay, let me show you what that looks like in physical form. Let me switch this to me. Now I often get asked, so I wanted to just show you where I get these boxes from. And I get them from either Michael's or Amazon. And usually Michael's has them on sale. You can get them for as little as $15 I've gotten in the past. Don't forget to use your teacher discount. So I keep them in here and they fit into 6 boxes. And let me go through and show you a few of them. Okay, so we start with rhyming here. let's take a look at some of the rhyming cards for each activity. So each box has a couple of activities in there. For rhyming, I have 2, rhyming recognition and rhyming identification. And I have a little description of what the students do with that set of cards. And like I said, they are self-checking, so the student, you can put these in a center for them to do independently. These are the alliteration cards. So just like the digital slides, these have pictures. And if you want to make it add a little bit of extra fun, I like to use counters or wiki sticks and have them highlight or circle with the wiki sticks the answers, and then they can check the back. And again, these are for beginning, for medial sounds, and for ending sounds. Yes, and it's super helpful to have it in both digital and print. I know. I loved using my whiteboard in the classroom, and I don't think I went one day without showing some kind of digital slides. So this is my blending box, blending compound words. And again, pictures on the back. Let's see, I love the digital component. I wish I had, Julie says, this is great. I wish I had this last school year doing online teaching. That's right, because of course I forgot to mention, if you're still doing virtual teaching, this is great to assign to your students too. All right, so these are the beginning phoneme isolation, ending phoneme isolation. And I just wanted to show you some of the manipulation cards here. Oh wait, I'll show you these too. So beginning phoneme addition, and then this is really fun. Change the t in quote to n. So this you might need to help them a little bit with, especially since you have the letters in there. But actually by the time they're ready for this activity, they probably can read this independently. So they can change the t in quote to n, and then when they turn it to the back, they'll find the answer. So Anna's asking, do you have print tips for how to print it correctly front to back? I always seem to mess it up. Oh, you know what? I do, because I always mess it up too the first time. My tip is print one, set it to flip on the short side. When you select the double-sided on your printer, make sure it's to flip on the short side, and then start with one and just make sure it's doing it correctly. Also, I had my printer misaligned, so the first time I printed about 20 cards, they didn't come out great front to back. They weren't aligned correctly, but I fixed my printer and it was just an alignment issue. All right, let's see. I love the digital component. I'm so glad. Okay, and then put this away. So everything is ready to go for you, because I know that you might have resources, or you might have to come up with your own resources or word lists or examples, and you know what to do, but you just don't have something on hand. And there's just, when you have something on hand ready to go, it makes it so much easier. Okay. And here are some phoneme manipulations, segmenting syllables. Oh, this is the one I wanted to show you. Segmenting onset and rhyme. So these are fun. The students can press on the green dot to make the first sound, and then press on the red dot to say the rhyme, and then blend it to say the whole word. Ing, king. Okay, so those are the skill cards. Now that I showed you my resource, now that I gave you some ideas, let me know which component of this bundle you are most excited to use in your classroom. Is it the warm-ups? Is it the skill cards, the digital? Let me know in the comments. Okay, I see that Marcy, you're most excited about the skill cards. Lisa, about the segmentation and manipulation. It's a toss. I know, there's so many fun things that you can do with phonological awareness. Rebecca, the skill cards and guided reading. Yes, these are great for guided reading, for targeted practice for the skills that your students need. Now, if you have any teacher BFFs that you think would benefit from learning about or knowing about this bundle, please tag them and share this with your friends. And make sure you don't miss it, on sale right now on TPT. Last thing I wanted to share with you is some information to stay connected. I would love for you to be part of my Tejeda's Tots family. So here is my email address. Feel free to email me anytime with any questions. My website with my shop, and lots of blog posts that will help save you time and give you lots of ideas and tips to use in your classroom. All right, so make sure you come back tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be talking about guided reading and a huge guided reading warm-ups bundle. Thanks so much for coming and joining me tonight. I hope that you got some tips that you can use in your classroom.